Hello students. So today we will start with the third unit of information storage network subject. Okay. So this third unit mainly highlights about IPSAN, network attached storage. So there are two chapters that has been covered in this particular unit. So we will start with IPSAN, then under that the related protocols like ISC, SI, FCIP. So these were the two protocols which comes under IPSAN. And next general purpose servers versus NAS devices, benefits of NAS, components of NAS, NAS operation, NAS implementation, NAS file sharing protocols, factors affecting NAS performance. So this belongs to the chapter called network attached storage. Network attached storage. So with this, we will start with the first chapter of this particular unit, which is known as IPSAN. So in this particular session, we were going to discuss about IPSAN. So IPSAN means Internet Protocol Storage Area Network. Internet Protocol Storage Area Network. So this chapter is taken from the sixth chapter of your recommended book from the syllabus, that is Information Storage Management by EMC Square. So upon completion of this particular entire first unit, this third unit, you should be able to describe what is an IPSAN protocols, what are its functions, its components and topology. And also in this particular case, FCOE protocol is been covered, which is not there in our syllabus. So in this particular session, mainly I am concentrating on drivers for IPSAN, means what exactly the IPSAN is. Then IPSAN protocols, there are IC, SI, SC, SI and FCIP protocols, components, topologies and protocol stack for ICSI and FCP. So in this particular session, I am discussing about ISCSI protocol. FCIP we will cover in the later sessions. So with respect to IPSAN, to begin with, what exactly the IPSAN is. So SAN means storage area network. So IP is an protocol, internet protocol, as you are already aware of. So what exactly this IPSAN is? So traditionally, SAN means storage area network enables the transfer of block IO over fiber channel and provides high performance and scalability. So these are the advantages of SAN, storage area network. These advantages of FCSAN come with the additional cost of buying FC components. FC component means fiber channel components such as FC, HBA and switches. So FC means fiber channel and HBA means host bus adapter. So fiber channel host bus adapter, that is called as a FC HBA. So in this particular case, these advantages of FCSAN come with the additional cost of buying FC components such as FC HBA and switches. So let me write some of these full forms so that you will better able to recall. So amongst this, first one is IPSAN, which is nothing but Internet Protocol Storage Area Network. Next, one more is FC SAN. FC means Fiber Channel Storage Area Network. Then one more is FCHBA. So all these are hardware components in this case. Fiber Channel Host Bus Adapter. Host Bus Adapter. So just recall these things because these particular terms are new to us. Then next point is organizations typically have an existing internet protocol. So we already know that we are in this internet era. Already the organizations are having an IP based infrastructure in their particular office work or office station, you can say, which could be leveraged for storage networking. So that particular infrastructure can be used for storage network also. So advancements in technology have enabled IP to be used for transporting block IO over the IP network. So this is the advantage we need to take from this IP SAN. So in this particular case, to continue with the earlier discussion, just I need to define what exactly this IP SAN is. So this particular IP SAN technology is of transporting block level data, which we call it as block IO also, over an IP network referred as a IP SAN. So in this particular case, transporting a block level data over an internet protocol network is referred as IP SAN. So this particular IP infrastructure organizations are already having. So now the storage area field wants to take advantage of that particular thing or that particular resource, we can say. So IP is being positioned as a storage networking option because of various reasons. Existing network infrastructure can be leveraged. Reduced cost compared to investing in new FC-SAN hardware and software. Okay, so already the first point is already the infrastructure, IP infrastructure is already there with the organization. So why can't we take advantage of that? So this is the first point that IP SAN technology is thinking of. Then reduced cost compared to investing in new FC-SAN hardware and software. So instead of installing all the hardware facility infrastructure in an organization, which leads to an additional budget for an organization, so why can't we use the existing IP network itself? So this is the question. So this is an advantage of what I can say the IP SAN. Many long distance disaster recovery solutions already leverage IP based network. So this we are already seeing. Many robust and mature security options are available for IP network. So because of these particular reasons, it forces us to think about the storage networking options with respect to IP protocol is concerned. So as we already know that IP is a mature technology and using IP as a storage networking option provides these particular advantages. With IP SAN, organizations can extend the geographical reach of their storage infrastructure. So this is how we can conclude what exactly the IP SAN and the advantages of IP SAN. Now, let us consider the protocols that are related to IP SAN to build the infrastructure for storage area networks using IP protocol. So for this particular purpose, we use two protocols in this case, which take advantage of IP as the transport mechanism are ISCSI. The first protocol is ISCSI. ISCSI. One more protocol is FCIP. So in this particular case, these protocol ISCSI, which is nothing but Internet Small Computer System Interface. Internet Small Computer System Interface. FCIP means Fiber Channel Internet Protocol. Or in other words, we can say instead of Internet Protocol, Fiber Channel over IP, over Internet Protocol. So ISCSI protocol is the encapsulation of SCSI IO over IP. And FCIP, another protocol FCIP, is the protocol in which an FCIP entity such as an FCIP gateway is used to tunnel FC fabrics through an IP network. In FCIP, FC frames are encapsulated onto the IP payload. An FCIP implementation is capable of merging interconnected fabrics into a single fabric. Frequently, only a small subset of nodes at either end require connectivity across fabrics. Thus, the majority of FCIP implementations today use switch-specific features such as IVR, means inter vSAN routing. vSAN means virtual storage area network routing, or FCRS, which is nothing but fiber channel routing services to create a tunnel. In this manner, traffic may be routed between specific nodes without actually merging the fabrics. So these are the two core protocols which are used in IP SAN. So let us discuss each of these particular protocols in detail. So today we will discuss about the protocol called as ISCSI, which is nothing but Internet Small Computer System Interface. So in this particular protocol, today we will discuss about its implementation, components, connectivity options, and topologies. So to begin with, the protocol ISCSI, we can say that it is an IP-based protocol that establishes and manages connections between host and storage IP. ISCSI is an IP-based protocol which is used to connect host and storage over IP. So just look at this following figure. So what the says, it is a protocol which is used to connect host and the array of storages. So this is the implementation structure. So we will see that particular figure later. So let us see the previous slide. So ISCSI is an IP-based protocol which is used to connect the host and storage over IP. So we have a host and a storage. So to connect that, we use ISCSI protocol. So it is a transport layer protocol that describes how small computer system interface packets should be transported over a TCP/IP network. It carries a block level data over IP-based network and is widely adopted for connecting servers to storage because it is relatively inexpensive and easy to implement. So because of this particular reason ISCSI protocol is used for IP-based implementations. So this particular figure clearly shows about the implementation, ISCSI implementation. So here is an ISCSI HBA, which is ISCSI host bus adapter. So this is been used to connect host or a server to the requested storage device. So intermediate is the IP protocol, and we use one more component called ISCSI gateway for FC port, and if it is an ISCSI port available with storage, then the direct connection can be made without ISCSI gateway in picture. So finally, we can say that ISCSI protocol encapsulates SCSI commands and data into an IP packet and transports them using TCP/IP. So because of this, ISCSI is widely adopted for connecting servers to storage because it is relatively inexpensive and easy to implement, especially in environments in which an FC SAN doesn't exist. So very feasible implementation in this particular case. So let us see what are the components of ISCSI. So in the earlier figure, we have seen a host or a server, and we have an IP based network there, and also we have seen some gateway there. So these were the three components that is being used in that particular case. So overall, what are the components of ISCSI protocol? So in this particular case, there are three components that are exclusively used in this particular case. First one is the ISCSI initiator, which can be termed as host. Second one is target, which represents either storage or it can be ISCSI gateway. And third component in this particular case is IP based network. So let us go back to the earlier figure. So this is our host or a server. This is our initiator, and gateway and storage represents the target, that is the second component. Third component is IP based network. So this is our third component. So these components togetherly form ISCSI protocol structure or implementation. So let us see what are the functionalities and advantages of these particular components. So before going to this particular components, let us see how exactly with respect to these components this particular implementation works. So as I have told, an initiator and target and finally the IP based network forms the key components of ISCSI protocol. If an ISCSI capable storage array is deployed, then a host with the ISCSI initiator can be directly communicate with the storage array over IP network. So in this particular case, so this is the storage where we have ISCSI port. So in that particular case, this host or a server can directly communicate to this particular storage over IP protocol. So this is the first point to be observed in this particular case. Next, however, an implementation that uses an existing FC array, that is fiber channel array, for ISCSI communication, an ISCSI gateway is used. So let us see this. So in this particular case, there is one more storage array which is an FC array here. So just see that it has been marked as FC port. So this is an FC fiber channel implementation, storage implementation. So ports are there. Ports have been defined. So if it is in a fiber storage array, fiber channel storage array, then we need an ICSI gateway to communicate between the server and the storage. This is the second point to be noted in this particular case. These devices perform the translation of IP packets to FC frames and vice versa. So this is the advantage of having the ICSI gateway. So very much in the, so as we have already learnt with respect to the network, whenever there is a frame to packet conversion, so we need a supporting protocol to convert from packet to frames or frames to a packet. So like that, the ISCSI gateways perform this kind of translation process in this particular implementation, thereby bridging the connectivity between IP and FC environments, that is Internet Protocol and fiber channel environment. So in this particular case, the gateways play a very important role here for the translation process from IP packets to FC frames. Now let us come back to the functionalities of this particular ICSI components. So with respect to this, as I have already told with respect to the earlier implementation diagram, we have an initiator, we have a target there, and also IP based network. So what exactly this ISCSI initiator means? So it can be a hardware or software residing on a computer that handles communications with an ISCSI array, that is a storage array, storage device. It can be a hardware or a software. Then it is a software based ISCSI initiator. such as Microsoft's free ISCSI initiator uses the existing network interface card. So this is one of the realistic, what I can say, the device that we normally use. In this particular case, it is a software, ISCSI software initiator, which is what I can say, built by Microsoft. So this particular thing is embedded in your network interface card. So already I hope all of you understand what exactly the network interface card is in your computer. Then hardware based ISCSI initiator is also available, that such as ISCSI HBA, that is host bus adapter. So ISCSI HBA is one more hardware component that provides the initiator job. So depending on the requirement, we can use the software or the hardware. Main function is to route the SCSI commands over an IP network. So this is the main functionality of an initiator, whether it can be a software or a hardware. Its main function is to route the SCSI commands over an IP network. So SCSI means what? Small computer system interface commands over an IP network. This is the job. It does not consume CPU resources to handle ISCSI commands. So this is one of the advantage of this particular initiator. Coming to the second component, which can be called as target, which represents either storage or ISCSI gateway in this particular case. So the ISCSI enabled device to which you will be storing data. Storage array with ISCSI port. ISCSI gateway enables communication with FC storage area. Common deployment scenarios for an ISCSI target includes storage arrays and disk drives. So these are the common, what you can say, the storage areas what we can think of. Finally, the IP based network, it is nothing but it is an interconnected Ethernet switches or routers. Means it consists of Ethernet switches or the routers. So that is what the IP based environment or network environment structure. So this is about the components that are used in the ISCSI protocol implementation. So now let us talk about ISCSI host connectivity options. So there are different options available to connect the ISCSI host with the storage devices. So there are three kinds of options available. First one is standard NIC with software ISCSI initiator. NIC means what? Network interface card. Second option is to connect from host or initiator to a storage device is TCP offload engine, which is termed as a TOE. TCP offload engine NIC with software ISCSI initiator. This is the second option, connectivity option. Third connectivity option is ISCSI host bus adapter, HBA. So these were the three options available for connecting an ISCSI host to a storage device over an IP. So let us see one by one. So first, standard NIC with software ISCSI initiator. So it is the simplest and least expensive connectivity option. It is easy to implement because most servers come with at least one and in many cases two embedded NICs, definitely. If it requires only a software initiator for ISCSI functionality, because NICs provide standard IP function, that is encapsulation of SCSI into IP packets, and decapsulations are carried out by the host CPU. This places additional overhead on the host CPU. If a standard NIC is used in heavy IO load situations, the host CPU might become a bottleneck. So this is the overall functionality or connectivity of standard NIC with the software. So it is simple and least expensive. NIC, network interface card, that is available in your computer, already provides network interface. Software initiator, if means that we have already defined that Microsoft initiator can be taken in this particular case. Software initiator provides ISCSI functionality, which requires host CPU cycles for ISCSI and TCP/IP processing. Encapsulation of SCSI into an IP packets and decapsulation are carried out by the host CPU. So this places additional overhead on the host CPU. If standard NIC is used, heavy IO load, host CPU become the bottleneck. So this is about standard NIC with the software connectivity option. This is the first option that can be considered. The second option in this particular case is TOE NIC, means TCP offload engine NIC with the software ISCSI initiator. This is the second connectivity option we can think of. TOE NIC helps to alleviate the burden that has been observed in the earlier connectivity option. That is, if a standard NIC is used in heavy IO load, if this is the case, then we can use the second option, that is this TOE NIC option. TOE NIC helps to alleviate the burden that we have seen in the earlier connectivity option. A TOE NIC offloads TCP management functions from the host and leaves only the ISCSI functionality to the host processor. The host passes the ISCSI information to the TOE card, and the TOE card sends the information to the destination using TCP/IP. Although this solution improves the performance, the ISCSI functionality is still handled by software initiator that requires host CPU cycles. Means that is been summarized here. So it moves the TCP processing load of the host CPU onto the NIC card. This is the first advantage of this. Software initiator provides ISCSI functionality, we already know that. It requires host CPU cycles for ISCSI processing. So this is the second connectivity option we can think of. And coming to the third connectivity option, that is ISCSI HBA, that is host bus adapter. In this ISCSI HBA, which is capable of providing performance benefits because it offloads the entire ISCSI and TCP/IP processing from the host processor. The use of an ISCSI HBA is also the simplest way to boot host from storage area network environment via ISCSI. If there is no ISCSI HBA, modifications must be made to the basic operating system to boot the host from the storage device, because the NIC needs to obtain an IP address before the operating system loads. The functionality of an ISCSI HBA is similar to the functionality of our fiber channel HBA. So this is what ISCSI HBA makes. It offloads both ISCSI and TCP/IP processing from the host CPU. It is simplest option for booting from the storage area network via ISCSI. So these were the three connectivity options that we can think of with respect to ISCSI host to storage connectivity. So far we have discussed what exactly the IP SAN is, what is ISCSI protocol, what is its implementation, what are the components of ISCSI and ISCSI host connectivity. So with this understanding, now next we will go to what exactly the topological connectivity is possible with respect to ISCSI. So there are three ISCSI topologies, topological implementations are available. First one is called as native ISCSI connectivity topology. Second one is bridged ISCSI connectivity topology. Third is combining FCP and native ISCSI connectivity topology. So this can be termed as hybrid topology with respect to ISCSI topology is concerned. So the native topology does not have FC components. The initiators may be either directly attached to the targets or connected through IP network. And in bridged topology, which enables the coexistence of fiber channel with IP by providing ISCSI to FC bridging functionality. For example, the initiators can exist in an IP environment while the storage remains in an FC environment. And the third option, that is hybrid, that is combining FC and native ISCSI connectivity. It is typically a storage array comes with both FC and ISCSI ports. So these are the three kinds of ICSI topologies available. So let us discuss one by one in detail. So the first one is native ISCSI topology. So with respect to this native ISCSI topology, so this particular ISCSI topology, native topology, here the initiators are either directly attached to the storage array or connected through an IP network. Okay, so this is the topological implementation here. Here what the first sentence says is that the initiators are either directly attached to storage or it is connected through IP network. Okay, so in this particular case there are no FC components used. No FC components used in this particular case. So FC components are not required for ISCSI connectivity if an ISCSI enabled array is deployed. Okay, so this is the point to be noted in this particular case. So the array has one or more ISCSI ports configured with IP address and is connected to standard Ethernet switch. So this is the ICSI storage area. So in this particular case, these are the ports which are configured with ISCSI port numbers and IP address. So this is how the thing is. So if the storage area is configured with ICSI port, then we need not required. In that particular case, we need not require any FC components. So this is a simple implementation. So no FC components are required. Storage array has one or more ISCSI ports. Storage array has one or more ISCSI ports. See here, 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 ISCSI ports available according to the figure here. Each ISCSI port on the array is configured with an IP address and port number. So each of these particular ports are configured with IP address and port number. If this ISCSI port and IP address configuration is available, then in that particular case, no need of FC components in this particular case. So after an initiator is logged onto the network, it can access the available logical unit numbers. LUNs means logical unit numbers on the storage area. So storage area is configured with the logical unit numbers. So the user can target any of the LUNs which he is interested in. So after an initiator is logged on to the network, it can access the available LUNs on the storage array. A single array port can service multiple hosts or initiators as long as the array port can handle the amount of storage traffic that the host generates. Okay, so means what? In this particular case, we can have so many, what I can say, the data can be stored in an ISCSI storage array as long as it goes on supporting the normal operation. So this is what the meaning of native ISCSI topology. Coming to the second topological option, which is called as bridged ISCSI. So in this bridged ISCSI implementation, it includes FC components in its configuration. So whereas with respect to the native topology, what happens? There need not be the requirement of FC components. Means the FC components cannot be used in the native topology. Whereas in bridged topology, FC components are present in its configuration. So this is the difference between the native and the bridge. So let us see what exactly this particular thing is. ISCSI gateway is used to enable the communication between ISCSI host and FC storage. So just see here, ISCSI gateway is used to enable the communication between ISCSI host and fiber channel storage. So we have a fiber channel storage. Here it is not configured with ISCSI IP address and port. Here it is configured with FC port, fiber channel port. Okay, so just be careful about the terms here. So ISCSI gateway works as a bridge between fiber channel and internet protocol network. This is the point to be understood very much clearly. ISCSI gateway works as a bridge between FC and internet protocol network, which this particular gateway converts IP packets to FC frames and vice versa. Okay, so just here, this is one particular direction. Here is the host server. So this is an IP configuration environment, ISCSI gateway, but the storage is FC, fiber channel storage array. So in that particular case, here we have an IP packet and here we have an FC packet, FC frames we can say. Okay, so for this particular conversion is being done by ISCSI gateway. So this particular gateway converts IP packets to fiber channels. So till this it is IP packets, and from this onwards it is a FC frames. And if there is an reverse operation, in that particular case, here it is FC frames, and then after conversion it comes here with the IP packets. So this is the thing. ISCSI initiator is configured with the gateway's IP address. This has to be configured with the gateway's IP address, and its target is ISCSI gateway is configured as FC initiator storage, and this particular gateway's target is this IPS FC fiber channel initiator. So this is what the bridged ICSI. So in this case, to continue with this, what you can say, the bridged network. So this particular figure illustrates the ISCSI host connectivity with the FC storage array in this particular case. In this case, the array does not have any ISCSI port. So as I already told, an external device called gateway or a multi-protocol router must be used to facilitate the communication between ICSI host and the fiber channel storage. A bridge device contains both FC and Ethernet ports to facilitate the communication between fiber channel and IP environment. Okay, so if we have an FC configured fiber channel configured host bus adapter, means this is the server is configured with the fiber channel, then we need not require any ICSI gateway in this particular case. Only FC storage area network is sufficient for this, and there is no what I can say IP protocol comes into picture. So this is a direct connection from server to the FC storage array. Okay, so this is both the options, both particular scenarios have been shown. So this is an ISCSI HBA which we are trying to connect to FC storage area, and there is one more scenario where server is configured with fiber channel HBA and we try to connect to the fiber channel storage array. Okay, so in this particular case you need to point out in which case we need to use ICSI gateway. When it is to be used? It is to be used only when we have an ISCSI HBA which we are connecting it to FC fiber channel storage area. In that particular case we need to use gateways configured with ISCSI. Finally, the third topological option is combining fiber channel and native ISCSI connectivity. So this is the third option apart from native bridge. This is one more hybrid option available. So in this particular case, storage array provides both fiber channel and ISCSI ports. So just make a note of this particular statement. Storage array means storage devices is being configured with both fiber channel and ISCSI ports. Okay, so this is the implementation here. So this is the storage array. So this is being configured with both FC port, just see here, FC port and ISCSI port. Both these ports are available. Whereas in earlier topologies, either we have an ISCSI port configured with the storage or fiber channel configured storage. But in this particular connectivity, we can configure the storage in both the ways using ISCSI port and as well as a fiber channel port. So this is the difference between the earlier topologies with respect to this topology. Okay, just make a note of it. So storage array provides both fiber channel and ISCSI ports. It enables ISCSI and FC connectivity in the same environment. No bridge devices needed. If that is the case, if it is enabling ISCSI and FC connectivity in the respective environment, then why we need a bridge? Bridge is not at all required. So bridge means what? The gateways, what we have used in the earlier topology. So we are saving that particular hardware cost and implementation. Okay, so this is called as one more hybrid, what you can say, the environment topology, in which we can connect host to a storage device. So just both the options have been shown here. We have a server here which has been configured with ISCSI host bus adapter, routed through an internet protocol environment, and storage array which is supporting both ISCSI port and FC port. So now it is been communicating or connecting it through ISCSI port, this particular port. Similarly, this is the server where it has been configured with fiber channel host bus adapter. In an FC SAN environment, this has been connected to FC port of the respective storage array. So these are the three storage devices available, storage topologies available with respect to ISCSI protocol is concerned. I hope the today's session we have discussed about what is IP SAN, its implementation, connectivity, what are the different connectivity options, and the respective topology. So I hope these particular points are clear to you. Let us make use of this particular thing, and if you have any doubts, you can please revert back to me. Thank you very much.